A long time ago, in a galaxy not so far away, some people looked at centuries worth of scientific evidence and said, nah, that's fake. Today, on Star Wars Day, I'm here to explain how Star Wars, a space opera full of space wizards, laser swords and talking amphibians, is actually more believable than Flat Earth. Hello all and welcome along to day 4 of One a Day for May, where I publish a video every single day for the month of May. My name is Sci-fi. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin with today's video though, I was reading earlier how NASA have revealed some stunning new photos to celebrate Hubble Space Telescope's 35th anniversary. And I was reading that story on Ground News, which was actually founded by former NASA engineer called Harleen Kaur, who actually worked on the James Webb Telescope. Now, Ground News combines stories and articles from thousands of outlets, local and national, in one place so readers can see the full picture of what's being reported around the world. As you can see here, Ground News shows you if there's any political leanings for every publication. And in this instance, with the Hubble article, we can see it's centre-driven with 76 total news sources. Now, for every story, you get a quick visual breakdown of the news outlets covering it, their political bias, how factual the source is, which entity actually owns that source, and which countries are covering the story. You can also click on any of the headlines to read the story from its original source. The best thing is that you can develop a well-rounded world view. See every side to every story with access to international perspectives that are hard to find. So then you can make informed decisions where you can read, watch and share the best information available. And Ground News is mission-centric. It's not about eliminating bias, but providing better transparency. And they're funded by their community, not ads or big investors. So go to ground.news/Sciman to stay fully informed on breaking news and compare media coverage. Subscribe through my link in the description for 40% off unlimited access if you support the mission and find it as useful as I do. Right, on with today's video. And may the 4th be with you. Let's dive into a galaxy of facts and fiction and figure out why Star Wars, despite all of its wild sci-fi elements, still has a better grip on reality than the Flat Earth theory. First off, let's give credit where it is due. Star Wars is fiction, but what makes it so immersive is that it borrows heavily from real-world science. Let's start with hyperspace travel. Inspired by Einstein's theory of relativity, wormholes and warp drives are still theoretical, but physicists are actively exploring how faster than light travel could one day work. Now, Einstein showed us that space and time can bend. So in theory, a ship that could distort space-time might skip across vast distances just like the Millennium Falcon does. But what about the two suns that we see rising and setting on Tatooine? Well, binary star systems are real. In fact, NASA has discovered exoplanets orbiting two stars in the past. In 2011, NASA discovered Kepler-16b, the first confirmed planet orbiting two stars, a real-life Tatooine. Since then, astronomers have found multiple circumbinary planets. The odds of life there, unknown, but the science surrounding it, solid. Moving on, let's turn our attention now to lightsabers. Now, lightsabers are said to be made of magnetically contained plasma, a superheated electrically charged gas. Now, we actually already use plasma today in neon lights, arc welders, even the sun is a giant plasma ball, and scientists already use magnetic fields to control plasma in things like fusion reactors. So if you could miniaturize all that tech into a hilt, plus give it its own power supply, you may actually be able to contain plasma into a blade shape. It's a bit of a stretch, sure, but it's more grounded than a disc-shaped Earth with a magnetic moon and sun flying around the top of it. Now, I know what you're thinking. You've always wanted your own R2-D2. Well, modern robotics and AI are catching up pretty quickly. We've got Mars rovers, AI assistants and even robo-dogs. So an R2 unit isn't that far-fetched, I don't think. More than believable. I think you can see so far that I make a pretty compelling case. But let's be fair, let's give Flat Earth a chance. Let's look at some of their claims, shall we? Gravity is not real, they say, it's just density and buoyancy. Now that's a huge misunderstanding of how density and buoyancy works, of course, and how they affect objects in everyday life. They say Antarctica is an ice wall that contains all the world's oceans, even though we've got plenty of photos of the continent and people race round it in boats for fun. They think that the sun and moon are magical objects that seem to defy almost every single law of physics we can name. Need we say more there? They think that the largest space agency on the planet spends all its money faking its missions rather than doing its missions. That one's a doozy. And yes, this is a different me. The first part of the video I recorded and then my mic ran out of battery and I didn't realise, so the other half was complete silence. So here I am doing the second half. You're welcome. Well, as we can see so far, the Star Wars universe is way more believable than Flat Earth. But there are still a few more things to address. Let's move on now to the Force. The Force is obviously not scientifically real. Yet. But it's deeply inspired by real-world ideas. The concept of an invisible field binding everything together, that's not too far from quantum field theory. The universe really is filled with invisible forces. Electromagnetism, gravity, quantum fluctuations. Even the Jedi's ability to sense things echoes the cutting edge of neuroscience and human intuition. And it's not literal mind reading, but we are studying how brains process gut feelings and rapid pattern recognition. Even that is more believable than Flat Earth. Now I won't go into holograms because I think we've all seen how much that technology has progressed in recent years. So when you stack it all up, the outcome is staggeringly obvious. Star Wars, a space sci-fi, is more believable than the Flat Earth theory. Marvellous. Okay, I know saying that they've done the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs is not great. And come on, you know he was talking about time in those originals. They can't retcon their way out of that one. But this is a minor quibble, and probably still more believable than Flat Earth. Star Wars isn't trying to replace science. It uses scientific principles as a springboard for storytelling. Flat Earth, on the other hand, disregards centuries of research, experimentation and exploration to push a narrative that simply doesn't add up. In the end, Star Wars encourages us to dream big, explore and imagine what's possible, whilst grounding itself in concepts that we know to be true. Flat Earth, well, it asks you to ignore basic physics, common sense and a few thousand years of scientific discovery. So this May the 4th, let's celebrate the galaxy far, far away. But remember, the planet we're actually on is spherical, spinning through space and way cooler than any conspiracy could make it. May the Force and the facts be with you. And if you still think the Earth is flat, I find your lack of science disturbing. Thanks so much for watching today. As ever, it's very much appreciated. I hope you did enjoy that one. If you did, a massive thumbs up would be very much appreciated. And please do subscribe as well for more. Just enough time to once again thank Ground News for sponsoring today's video. Remember, go to ground.news/Simon to stay fully informed on breaking news and compare media coverage. Click my link in the description for 40% off unlimited access if you support the mission and find it as useful as I do. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll see you all tomorrow where Eric DeBay returns to the channel. See you then.